Top Hits USA from RPM. Our name says it all. Get the latest hits while they're the hottest. With Top Hits USA, you'll have the track for sure. Visit tophitsusa.com or call 800-521-2537 and get a free demo.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool.
All right, we're back for session 2 tonight. In session 2, we're going to learn exactly what makes Jeremy Brech click.
You don't want to know that.
Oh, well, I guess that shoots this show to pieces. Well, on to show number 3.
Yeah.
Jeremy, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you, John?
I'm doing well. Glad you could make it tonight. You've been a busy guy. And it wasn't just like one thing. You've had things going left and right and back and forth.
October's been crazy. Yeah, we started out at Wedding MBA this year or this month, and that was a great show, a great opportunity to network with a lot of great professionals, not just in the DJ and lighting industry, but kind of throughout the entire wedding network. So I always recommend that show to people who want to kind of branch out and just kind of discover the other opportunities that are out there. It's a great group of people, and there's great people to learn from. So it was a great session out there. And then, as you know, we were at Audio Symposium, which was the first annual. It was awesome. I think that's what we're going to be starting to talk about, right?
Yep, we're going to start with that. But
okay.
Just keep going in the recap of what your October was like, and then we'll come back and pick up pieces.
Okay. Yeah. So we had Audio Symposium, which was October 10th through the 12th, I believe.
Yeah. First week you were in Vegas, and then you came home you came to Minneapolis for a week.
Yeah. No, I flew back from Vegas, got back on Thursday. I had a wedding on Friday, Saturday, went to Minneapolis on Sunday, and actually got to enjoy my first concert at First Avenue.
Oh, wow.
So that was exciting. Got to see Boyce Avenue, which is, if you're not familiar with,
wow, cool.
They're phenomenal for cocktail music. So check them out. Then after that, came back and had a big corporate event that we did for Toshiba, a bunch of lighting, some gaming, things like that. Then it was full force. I mean, it was working on this big Suicide Squad party that we put together, which I'm excited to kind of share. This is actually this is the sneak peek for everybody. And actually, I'm seeing the photos for the first time. So if I open up a photo and I have a really dumb look on my face, it's because I probably didn't look through the photos ahead of time. No, it was a private party for a client that we work with in his corporate division, and we actually have that party in 2 weeks. And we're building a jungle. We're creating these amazing African sunsets, and all of the lighting is actually going to transform as you see the sunset happening. And there's going to be there's going to be video mapping, a lot of textures, a lot of patterns. We're building a 30-foot tree, and an airplane crashed into the tree. So we'll have to recap that video when we're done too. So yeah, it's just been it's been busy. We had a wedding show the day before I left for Wedding MBA, or the day of that I left for Wedding MBA. So it really has been nonstop. But you know what? These are the times we live for, so we can relax when we're slow, and we can have that peace of mind knowing that we worked as hard as we did.
So did you have to leave a picture of you next to the nightstand so Mrs. Brech would know who you are when you came back?
You know, I didn't. And now that I think about it, I probably should have. Actually, truthfully, she probably slept a lot better.
Sometimes, yeah, we make noises that they, yeah. All right. Let's jump. Audio Symposium. Let's start with that now.
Yeah,
we
and actually,
talked
because, excuse me, there was a message or a question that came up on the Electro Voice owners Facebook page or whatever it was. There's a Facebook page for Electro Voice users.
Yep.
And the question was, my audio seems to be hitting a peak when I've got it cranked and all this, and I just can't figure out why I'm having issues. And that was one of the things that I think all of the attendees that went away from Audio Symposium, that was probably one of the sessions that I think people really are going to utilize to its fullest potential. Because so many of us as DJs or even sound people, we like to, crank it as much as we can, but then all of a sudden you start getting that distortion, or you start getting that where your equipment's not running efficiently like it needs to be. And when we did our hands-on gain structure, we brought like 6 of our mixers or DJ mixers, and they had like 2 live sound mixers. And then what we did is you start from, the beginning source, which is the computer. Okay. Where's that level set at? And if you're using a USB, you're going into your controller, which is your next source. Okay. So where do you put that one at? Where do you put the main volume at? Where do you put if you're running an amplifier, or if you're just running, say you're running into like a compressor or whatever it is, now you have to set that level. And basically, the team at EV did a phenomenal job putting all this together, along with Ben Stowe and the NLFX crew. But just really like laid it out, like this is the steps that you need to take. And the nice thing was it was a hands-on, so we got to learn, and it wasn't just like, okay, I'm going to take that back and I'm going to go and try and figure it out back at my place.
Right.
It really gave us the opportunity to really hear what the differences were. And if we did, and then basically they made us do it wrong. Okay, so crank this, then crank that, and now hit play, see how it sounds. And again, you realize how imperfect your sound really was, and maybe why your speakers weren't running as efficient as they could have been. So that was a really great takeaway.
So, let me, Jeremy, on that one. Yeah. So a couple of things. Were there things in that when you were afterwards, you're like, oh, I've been doing it wrong for all I can do it better than I have been doing? I mean, was that, or did you feel you had a pretty good before with your audio?
Oh, I know I've been always doing it wrong. No, and that, that is kind of the thing. And that was one of the things, that was one of the sessions I was really excited about, because I knew that, I can set this speaker and this sounds great, but then I go set up the next week and something's different. What is that problem?
And there's the second question to that. Is it something now you learn this kind of this process, and is this process a kind of evolving thing that from one week to the next, depending upon situations, it might, your gain structure might be a little different?
Yeah, it might be because of the acoustics in the room. It might be, there's so many different variables, but like I said, I think the biggest thing that people really need to understand is there is a process to make sure that your sound is done correctly. Because before it was like, okay, I'm just going to play Usher's Yeah because I like the bass and I like to hear that when I'm setting up. But, using pink noise, that's technically the way that you're supposed to tune your system. And, you asked, did I know I was doing it wrong before? Well, of course I knew I was doing it wrong, but I didn't know how to fix it. And and I think so many of us were like, you know what, that sounds good enough.
Mm-hmm.
But when you actually know how to tune your system, now all of a sudden, good enough isn't good enough. Now I know I've got it exactly where it needs to be and how it needs to be. So that way I'm getting the full potential. So like I said, gain structure was a phenomenal session. Some of the other great sessions I thought we talked about compression of music. And if you ever put a track into your playlist or into your player, and you see where it's just like all peaked all the way across, it all starts with the beginning of your source. If your music sucks, your speakers are going to suck.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Sorry, I don't don't know if I can say that on
Yeah,
here,
you can.
but
You can.
we had Big Daddy before me, so I'm sure I'm pretty PG compared to the source that's being put into that. If that doesn't sound good to start off with, it's not going to sound good at the end result. Some of the other ones we talked about were microphone techniques. Bill Herman actually did a great little follow-up after going over microphones on, what's the proper way to use a microphone, hold a microphone, and, get the best out of your microphone. We talked about delays, and we went outside and we had an ETX way over here and then an ETX way over there. And we did sound delays where we could find, to make sure that we weren't getting, the I don't know what you call it, the non-delays happening. So basically, like, the audio was, you would hear it twice basically.
Sure.
But when you use the delay feature, the audio is coming here and it's matching up with the second speaker and it's hitting you at the same time. So there's a lot of people that were really impressed with that one. It really was 2 days of intense information. The audio 101 was probably more 201, 301. And, because Ben Stowe is doing it.
Yeah.
So
graduate level stuff again.
It really was. Everything was a great session. There was great people. I love the fact that it wasn't just DJs. There was live sound guys. There were people who mixed sound for churches. And it was great to network with some of those people. And even them, they're like, oh, looking at a DJ controller, they're like, I'm so lost. I don't even know where to begin. And then you have DJs that are looking at this soundboard that has like 42 knobs going down one channel. And they're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do with that. So it was great being able to work with each other and, just really getting more out of it than what I think a lot of people expected. So again, overall, great conference or a great workshop. I really hope they do it again. We had a fun night out. EV took us out, and Ben, he took care of dinner for us. We got treated like royalty out there.
Nice.
So that was really cool. It was a great time.
Very nice. Yeah. As soon as they were talking a little bit, I think, about dates and such, because things are going to change next year with a couple of other industry events. But yeah, I think it's something that a person really should put on their calendar and such and plan to go.
It's definitely going to gain some ground, and I'm excited about it. It was fun just, being a part of the curriculum part of it. They actually asked me a lot of questions on, what is it that you want to know, or what is it that we're not teaching? And I said, oh my gosh, I hope we have like 5 days to go through this, because again, so many of us as DJs, and not to put any DJs down, but we always think we know everything. But when you actually start learning, you realize how much you didn't know. And the value of this was extremely valuable.
Yeah.
They didn't charge enough. I'll just put it that way. It was a great workshop. Definitely need to look into it.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's segue over to this past weekend's event. I saw a picture. I believe you had one up that I saw somewhere on one of the social media pages there. Kind of give us an idea of what you were doing, and let's start talking about the prep, just the prep side, not exactly what it looks like yet, but just all everything involved with the prep for this.
Yeah, so I blacked out this last weekend, so I couldn't really tell you exactly what happened. No. So the corporate client that I work with every year, we do their fall gala every year, and he calls me up about 5 weeks ago probably, and says, hey, that Halloween party that I've always wanted to throw at my house, yeah, I want to do it. All right. When? October 29th. Oh, I have a wedding. He's like, well, I'm not doing this without you. Okay, well, I'm available the 22nd. Put it down. And then we met the next day and started going over what he wanted to do. And, the Suicide Squad movie just came out not that long ago. He was really inspired by that. And for me to really understand what exactly he was hoping for and looking for, my job is to understand that theme and feel out that theme. So I had to go to the movies. That was part of, it's all for work. Mm-hmm. So I went to the Suicide Squad movie. I kind of, watched some of the the scenes that were going on. I watched all the colors that were being used. You look at some of the textures of the city and things like that. And obviously I couldn't do too much with their house because their house was already amazing. But what he wanted to do was make this Suicide Squad Harley Quinn and Joker, which were their characters, the owners of the house. They wanted to create this Joker and Harley Quinn took over Wayne Manor.
Okay.
So they paid me to trash their house, basically, is what it came down to. It was a blast. So again, looking at the colors, what are Joker's colors? What are Harley Quinn's colors? Using a lot of the purples and the greens, and then with Harley Quinn using blues and reds. It just allowed me to, again, kind of capture the color tones that they used and use that throughout the house. The different artwork that was in the movie, we utilized some of that. We utilized, again, what would it look like if you walked into a house that got completely trashed? What would it look like? And that's exactly what we had to create in this beautiful house. So again, the prep that went into it was basically watching the movie, kind of going in my mind and trying to figure out, what exactly we wanted to create. And with Joker, he wanted to create almost this little carnival that was going on. So I should actually go I have Robin. We created all these different carnival games, and we had this death wheel. Like, it was about 5 foot around, and we got a Robin costume, stuffed him full of stuffing and pillows, and then we strapped him to this wheel, and you would spin the wheel, and Robin would, he would rotate.
Yep.
And we got a bunch of knives that we dull down so no one would hurt themselves, but they would actually throw knives at Robin and try to hit Robin, and they would win these little prizes, these little plush dolls and keychains and things like that. Some of the other games that we had with this little eyeball bounce, we had these ping pong balls that looked like eyeballs, and they would have to bounce them into these jars. Probably not the best thing to be talking about right now, John. Sorry. The other one, and this was kind of funny because my 9-year-old daughter helped me build this part. It was the guillotine. We had
great thing. Let's do a father-daughter event. Let's build a guillotine. Come on, honey.
Yeah. Well, and that was just it. It's like, she's probably going to school the next day. Oh, so what did you do last night? Oh, I built a guillotine with my dad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then we invited the neighbors over. It was great.
Yeah, it was just fantastic. But no, it turned out really cool. It was the softball throw, so they had to throw the softball kind of like the dunk tank, but then the guillotine would come down, cut off Commissioner Gordon's head, and it would fall to the ground. We had like this big, I don't know, probably 12-gallon container, and we just boiled like 40 pounds of noodles, and they had to dig through the noodles to find these little bats and pull them out and things like that. So a lot of different games. We built the mallet, and then the bell thing rings or whatever it is. I don't know what you call it. So again, that was kind of the carnival aspects. We built a big Joker entrance type thing, kind of like the, welcome to the carnival. We built a little ticket booth that looked like bars, like jail bars. So that was kind of the carnival aspects of it. We did some bistro lighting to go throughout the carnival area, and we set those on dimmer packs so they would flash on and off, as opposed to being like, oh, what an elegant little carnival out here. It was kind of almost like a lightning effect with the bistros. Let me see. Oh, just, I think when I look at the inventory of what we used, it was astronomical. We had, let me see. I think for hexes, we had right around 180 hexes. We had 40 or 20 of the easy pars. And that's the thing. If you do not have battery powered up lights, this is your sales pitch right now. Okay. We could not have done this event if we had to plug things into the wall. Obviously they have outlets, but just the efficiency of laying these lights down when we need them and where we need them, it makes it so much quicker. And we had our IPs outside, the waterproof ones. We had those outside. We had our ellipsoidals creating patterns and textures. We had the Eve 100s, the E100Zs. Sorry, they're the LED ellipsoidal love those things to death. They're so clear. You want me to start showing some photos?
Yeah, if you've got some pictures, go ahead. Let's and you can kind of walk us through.
Let me see. All right, let's try this. Okay, so here you can see, can you see this?
Yep, I'm going to go and switch over to a better full screen. Oh, maybe that is our best full screen.
I can try a different screen.
No, it's...
I think it's just showing window. I think it's just showing the window of my browser.
Okay.
So, what we did, we actually contacted a linen company and asked them if they had some old sheets. So we had over 50 some sheets, and I had one of my guys on the day before just like spray painting every single sheet we had. I don't think he ever wants to touch a paint can in his life again. But this is actually, let me show you this. I don't know if you can see this or not, but you see this little pole right here underneath the Watch Effects. I have a lot of people asking me, we don't like to use tripods. They get in the way. What do you recommend? This is exactly what I recommend. This is a glow totem, single stick, the single stick of a glow totem.
Yep.
We had some base plates. They're a white plate made of steel. We had that built, or we had that made, fabricated, and then we have a coupler pin, and then we have a single pole that this 35-pound plate weighs it down, and it works phenomenal. So there's a little tip for anybody who's looking to get rid of tripods. And you can even use the base plate from the totem itself, but then you have 3 other pegs on there as well. So sometimes that can cause an issue. But yeah, you can see the freedoms all scattered down below there. I'll show you the outside. Oh, this was the phenomenal fireworks show. I don't know if this is a phenomenal picture because, like I said, I'm seeing these for the first time too. Yeah, so they had about $8,000 in fireworks. It was a great, amazing show. Here you can see my little EV ETX right there. Then we did some trussing, lit that up, and then we just did a little Joker sign, and we had the slim UVs that actually lit those up. So a nice little black light. Let me see. I'm gonna find you. Let me find you the outside. Maybe. Here we go. So this was the back side of the house, and you can see what we did is we created this ha ha ha, made it into a monogram or a gobo, and we basically plastered the side of the house with that. Here you can see all of our wash effects that lit up the carnival area. Again, these are phenomenal. I love these lights. If you do not have these lights, you are missing out because good money in those lights. We used I think we used 18 wash effects. The new, what is it? The WMS, I believe it's called. It's that little motion sensor that they came out with. Yeah. We use those for our smoke machines, our geysers, and they were amazing. People were walking by. We had them on the path as they were walking up, and all of a sudden the smoke machines would go off.
With it being a guy,
yeah, exactly. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it in this picture or not. Well, there's a geyser. But this was the front side of the house. So as you started walking up, these are our big outdoor searchlights. We had a bunch of freedom sticks kind of on the path as well. And then we just lit up the totems that we had randomly throughout there. Here you can see all of our Colorados that actually made all the purple. And then here was the gobos that we had. We had one that said love pudding, and then ha ha ha. And this was supposed to be a broken bat signal, and then another ha ha ha. So yeah, it was a phenomenal event. Loved the event. We even had the cops show up because they were trying to figure out why fireworks and what were these big lights aiming into the sky. Being this far out in the country, I didn't have to call the airport. But again, it was an awesome event, and he already wants to plan next year, which I'm perfectly cool with. Except he wants to turn this castle into the Death Star, and I'm not sure how that's exactly going to happen. So that will be interesting. We'll see how that goes. Ben, I could have swore I saw Ben. What happened to Ben?
Yeah, he popped in for a second. He's probably just coming in to check his connection and such. So,
well, if we do the Death Star next year, Ben will have to be there. Also, I was talking to Big Daddy before this. I'm supposed to tell you, John, just to kind of rub it in. I skipped Pentatonic's concert tonight to be on this show.
Yes, he told me about that, and it's like, oh, that would be an awesome show.
It'd be an awesome show, but that's okay. I had a busy day, and I don't know if I could have taken on a concert today. So,
oh, that would have been a fun concert to hit. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Jeremy, great stuff. If people want to get in touch, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
They can always reach me, Jeremy at DJJR Shop Time, or if they see any videos, the easiest thing to do is actually comment on those videos because it notifies my phone right away. And then I'll get back to you with any answers. If you want a little bit more recap on Audio Symposium, Disc Jockey News November article. I have a whole recap in there. And again, please read that. If you don't read mine, read some of the other people's because there's a lot of great writers in there. So just reach out to me. You can check me on Facebook. You can send me an email or you can see me on YouTube.
Sounds great. Jeremy, thank you for coming on and looked like an awesome event. Wow, good stuff.
Next year, you can come.
I'm just hoping I'm not in surgery the day before. That's all I'm after.
Well, that's probably, you probably don't want to be
there. All right. Thanks, Jeremy. We'll be back in just a few minutes. I put the link for our next show, which will be Dean Carlson, in just a few minutes. We'll catch you in about probably 4 or 5 minutes. Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks,